China is steadily becoming a dominant force in the global electric vehicle (EV) industry, putting the US and European Union, or EU, on high alert. This rise goes beyond mere industrial growth. It's a clear sign of economic power shifting from the West to the East. With impressive growth rates and a well-planned expansion strategy, China is reshaping the EV landscape worldwide, raising questions about whether traditional powers are ready to accept a new economic order led by China. This isn't just about a technology product. It's about a realignment of global economic power and strategic influence. In recent years, China has surged ahead in the EV market, achieving breakthroughs that few other countries can match. By 2024, China has firmly established itself as the world leader in both EV production and consumption, with a growth rate of 28% in just the first quarter of the year, far outpacing the US, which saw only a 2% increase during the same period. This isn't a short-lived phenomenon. It's part of a long-term development strategy driven by a powerful combination of government resources and private sector dynamism. One of the key factors behind China's success in EVs is its tight grip on the global supply chain. China is not only one of the world's largest battery manufacturers, but also dominates the supply of essential raw materials like lithium, nickel, and cobalt, crucial components for EV battery production. With control over these materials, China maintains a strong position in the EV industry and ensures a stable production capacity to meet growing demand. Leading Chinese EV companies like BYD, SAC, and even Tesla, through its Gigafactory in Shanghai, benefit from a stable, cost-effective supply chain, allowing them to offer products at significantly lower prices than their Western competitors. China's success also stems from its aggressive global market expansion. While American and European EV companies struggle to scale up production and reduce costs, Chinese manufacturers have actively entered international markets, particularly in Southeast Asia, Latin America, and the Middle East. In 2024, BYD exported nearly 100,000 vehicles abroad, a 152% increase from the previous year, with major destinations including Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, and several Western nations. Additionally, more developed markets like Russia, Mexico, the UK, and Gulf countries are starting to embrace Chinese EVs, showcasing China's ambition to become a global EV provider. China's international market expansion isn't just a sign of its domestic EV industry's growth, it's part of a long-term strategy to shape the global EV sector in its favor. As Chinese EV companies like BYD, Tesla, Shanghai plant, and other state-backed manufacturers expand exports, they're gradually taking over international markets with affordable, advanced EVs. This not only helps them capture emerging markets, but also puts significant pressure on traditional Western EV manufacturers in developed markets like Europe and the US. China's strides in the EV sector have stirred up competitive tensions that are leading to protective measures from Western powers, especially the EU and the US. Faced with the rapid growth of Chinese EVs, the EU decided to impose tariffs of 27.4% to 48.1% on EVs imported from China, following an investigation suggesting that Chinese EV companies benefit from government subsidies, allowing them to sell at lower prices in Europe. However, this move has sparked controversy, with many analysts suggesting that it could have unintended consequences, weakening Europe's EV industry in an increasingly global market. History shows that protectionist measures rarely yield lasting success, and Europe's solar energy industry in the early 2010s serves as a prime example. Back then, Chinese manufacturers flooded the European market with low-cost solar panels, thanks to government support. To protect its domestic industry, the EU imposed tariffs on these products, hoping to bolster local solar energy production. Instead of boosting the industry, these protections led to the collapse of Europe's solar sector, as companies couldn't compete with affordable Chinese products. If a similar scenario unfolds in the EV industry, Europe could face even greater challenges, with consumers losing access to affordable EVs and domestic manufacturers stifled in innovation and technology development. In the US, President Joe Biden's administration took a tougher stance, imposing a 100% tariff on EVs made in China as of September 2024. This is part of a broader strategy to protect the domestic EV market and encourage local production. However, this move could also drive up EV prices in the US, making it harder for consumers to access environmentally friendly options. The US government argues that without decisive actions like these, the domestic market would be flooded with low-cost Chinese products, severely threatening the EV industry and related sectors. China has not stood idly by in the face of these protective measures from the US and the EU. It quickly issued retaliatory actions targeting key EU industries, especially luxury goods and agricultural products. A notable measure includes a 39% tariff on imported French brandy, a major export from France to China. China is also considering tariffs on other items like luxury cars and agricultural goods from the EU, posing challenges for industries heavily reliant on the Chinese market, such as high-end fashion, Italian wine, and Spanish pork. These moves not only increase pressure on European nations, but also threaten the economic stability of the entire EU. China's rise in the EV industry reflects more than a business competition. It highlights a shift in global economic order. As the US and Europe struggle to maintain their positions, China is emerging as a global hub for EV technology and production. This development not only signals China's growing influence, but also forces other nations to rethink their economic strategies and trade policies. Protective tariffs may mitigate impacts in the short term, but in the long run, Western nations may need to focus on enhancing competitiveness rather than relying on tariffs alone. Ultimately, the question remains, will Western powers accept this shift, or will they continue to take measures to counter China's growth? This isn't just an economic question, it's about global power and influence. China is entering a new era, where it is no longer just the world's factory, but a leader shaping global technology and production trends. This presents a tough decision for countries like the US and Europe. Either accept a new economic order, or brace for increasingly fierce competition with unpredictable consequences for both sides. If you found this content insightful and want more in-depth analysis like this, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support motivates us to bring you more quality content.